Once when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. After seeing this picture, I succeeded in making my first drawing. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them, but they answered, "Frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat?" Since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing, the inside of the boa constrictor. The grown-ups' response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors and devote myself instead to other essential subjects. That's why, at the age of 6, I gave up a magnificent career as a painter. I chose another profession and became an airplane pilot. So I lived alone, without anyone that I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus you can imagine my amazement at sunrise. I was awakened by an odd little voice.
If you please, draw me a sheep.
What?
It was an extraordinary small person. He looked so serious.
If you please, draw me a sheep.
But I don't know how to draw a sheep.
That doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep.
I drew some pictures of sheep, but a little man didn't accept them.
No, this sheep is already very sicky. This is not a sheep, it's a ram. This one is too old.
So I drew a box, and I threw out an explanation with it.
The sheep you asked for is inside.
Wow, that is exactly I wanted. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass?
Why?
Because where I live, everything is very small.
It took me a long time to learn where he came from.
My little man, where do you come from?
The thing that is so good about the box you have given me is that at night he can use it as his house.
That is so. And if you are agree, good, I will give you a string, too, so that you can tie him during the day and post to tie him too.
Tie him? What a killer idea!
But if you don't tie him, he will wander off somewhere and get lost.
That doesn't matter. Where I live, everything is too small.
Then I understood that he came from a very small planet. It was scarcely any larger than a house. In this day, I met the little prince in the desert. The story about the little prince started from here. The information about him would come very slowly, as it might chance to fall from his thought. On the third day, I heard about the catastrophe of the baobabs. The soul of the planet was impacted with baobabs. It is something you will never be able to get rid of if you attempt to it too late.
It is a question of discipline. When you finished your own toilet in the morning, then it is the time to attend to the toilet of your plant with the greatest care. You must see to it that you pull up regularly all the baobabs at the first moment when you can be distinguished from the broad bushes which they resemble too closely in their earliest youth. It is a tedious work.
I also understood the secret of sunset in his planet.
On my small planet, I can see sunset just by moving my chair a few steps. One day, I saw the sunset 44 times. You know, one loves the sunset when one is so sad.
And it was on the 50th day when the secret about his rose was revealed to me. At that moment, I was very busy trying to fix my engine.
If a sheep eats little bushes, does it eat even flowers which have thorns?
Yes, a sheep eats even flowers that have thorns.
So, the thorns, what use are they?
I was upset, and I answered with the first thing that came into my head.
The thorns are of no use at all. Flowers have thorns just for spite.
Oh, I don't believe you. Flowers are weak creatures. They are naive. They believe that their thorns are terrible weapons.
No. I don't believe anything. I'm very busy with matters of consequence.
Matters of consequence? You talk just like the grown-ups. For millions of years, the flowers have been growing thorns. For millions of years, the sheep have been eating them just the same. It is the warfare between the sheep and the flowers are not so important. If someone loves a flower, of which just one single blossom grows in all the millions and millions of stars, it is enough to make him happy just to look at the stars. Somewhere, my flower is there. But you think it is not important.
He couldn't say anymore because he was crying. I didn't know what to say him. Anyway, I said to him,
The flower that you love is not in danger. I will draw you a muzzle for your sheep. I will draw you a railing to put around your flower. I will...
On the little prince's planet, the flowers had always been very simple. But one day, from somewhere, a new flower had come up, and the little prince had watched it very closely. It took a long time until this flower bloomed. This flower was a coquettish creature. Her mysterious adornment lasted for days and days, and after working with all this painstaking precision, she woke up.
I am scarcely awake.
Oh, how beautiful you are!
Am I not? And I was born at the same moment as the sun.
She started to tend the flower. So too she began quickly to torment him with her vanity. Gradually, he was tired because of her selfishness.
The fact is that I didn't know how to understand anything. I ought to have judged it by deeds and not to by words.
He planned to escape from his planet. On the morning of his departure from his planet, he believed that he would never want to return. And when he watered the flower for the last time and prepared her under the shelter of her glass globe, he realized that he was very close to tears.
Goodbye.
I have been silly. I ask your forgiveness. Try to be happy.
He was surprised by this absence of reproaches. He stood there all bewildered.
Of course I love you. It is my fault that you have not known it all the while. This is of no importance, but you have been just as foolish as I. Try to be happy. You have decided to go away. Now, go.
She did not want to see him crying. She was such a proud flower. He found himself in the several planets. He began, therefore, by visiting them in order to add to his knowledge. There are 6 planets which he visited. In each planet, the little prince met many kinds of grown-ups. A king, a conceited man, a tippler, a businessman, a lamplighter. Whoever the little prince talked with, he realized that grown-ups are always something strange. In the 6th planet, the little prince met an old geographer. The old geographer suggested the little prince to go to our planet, Earth, and the little prince finally appeared on the Earth. When the little prince arrived on the earth, he was very much surprised not to see any people. He was beginning to be afraid he had come to the wrong planet. There, the first creature he met was a snake.
What planet is this on which I have come down?
This is Earth.
Oh, then there are no people on the earth.
This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The air is so longer.
Where are the men? It is a little lonely in the desert.
This is also lonely among men.
You are a funny animal. You are no thicker than a finger.
But I'm very powerful. Whoever I touch, I send back to the earth for which he came. I can help you if you grow too homesick for your own planet.
After saying goodbye to the snake, he found a garden, and there a lot of roses were blooming. He realized that his rose is not at all special. He lay down in the grass and cried. It was then that the fox appeared.
Who are you? You are very pretty to look at.
I am a fox.
Come on, play with me. I am so unhappy.
I cannot play with you. I am not tamed.
What does it mean, tame?
It means to establish ties.
To establish ties?
Just that. To me, you are still nothing more than a little boy who is just like 100,000 other little boys. And your part is the same, right? But if you tame me, to me, you will be unique. To you, I shall be unique in the world.
I'm beginning to understand. In my planet, there is a flower. I think she has tamed me.
In your planet? So did you come from another planet?
Yes.
Interesting. Now, my life is very monotonous. I am a little bored. But if you tame me, it will be different from all the others. Think how wonderful that will be when you have tamed me. You see the grain field over there, which is no use to me, but you have hair that is color of gold. The grain, which is also golden, will bring me back to the thought of you, and I shall love to listen the window in the wheat. Please take me.
I want to very much, but I have not much time. I have friends to discover and great many things to understand.
Only one understands the things that one tames.
What must I do to tame you?
You must be patient. First, you will sit down at a little distance for me, and every day you will sit a little close to me, without saying anything. Words are the source of misunderstandings.
So the little prince tamed the fox, and when the hour of his departure drew near,
I shall cry.
It is your own fault. I never wished you any sort of harm, but you wanted me to tame you.
Yes, that is so.
Then it has done you no good at all.
It has done me good because of the color of the wheat fields.
then the little prince said goodbye to the fox.
Goodbye, and here is my very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see it rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eyes.
What is essential is invisible to the eye.
It is time you have wasted for your loss that makes your loss so important. You are responsible for your loss.
I am responsible for my roads.
The little prince repeated so that he would be sure to remember. It was now the 8th day since I had had my accident in the desert.
Oh, these memories of yours are very charming, but I have not yet succeeded repairing my plane. I have nothing more to drink. I am about died of thirst.
The little prince looked easygoing. I said to myself, he has never been hungry or thirsty. A little sunshine is all he needs. It was then the little prince leaped to my thought.
I am thirsty too. Let us walk for a while.
It is almost impossible to look for a well in the huge desert. But nevertheless, we started working. When we had worked alone for several hours, the stars began to come out. Thirst had made me a little feverish, and I looked at them as if I were a dream. The little prince sat down, and I sat down beside him. And after a little silence, he said,
The stars are beautiful because of a flower that cannot be seen. And the desert is also beautiful. What makes the desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well.
I was astonished by a sudden understanding of what mysterious radiation of the sand. It was a secret that what gives them their beauty is something that is invisible.
I am glad that you agree with my folks. Yes, what is most important is invisible.
When I came back from my work the next evening, I saw from some distance away from my prince sitting atop of a wall. I wanted to tell him that my work had been successful beyond anything that I had dared to hope. It was then that I heard his talking with another voice.
Then you don't remember. This is not the exact spot.
Yes, is it the right day? But this is not the place.
Exactly. You have nothing to do but wait for me where my track begins in the sand. I shall be there tonight. You have good poison? You are sure that it will not make me suffer too long?
I dropped my eyes then, and I realized that he was talking with a yellow snake. I tried to shoot the snake, but at a noise I made, the snake escaped into the sand. I reached the wall just in time to catch my little prince in my arms. His face was as white as snow.
What does it mean? Why are you talking with snakes?
I am glad that you have found what was the matter with your engine. Now you can go back home.
How do you know about that?
I, too, am going back home today. It is much farther. It is much more difficult.
Oh, tell me that is only bad dream.
The thing that is important is the thing that is not seen.
Yes, I know.
At night, you will look at the stars. Where I live, everything is so small that I cannot show you where my star is to be found. It is better. My star will just one of the stars for you. And you will love to watch all the stars in the heavens. That will all be your friends.
What do you want to say?
In one of the stars, I shall be living. In one of them, I shall be laughing. And so it will be as if all the stars were laughing. Only you, will have stars that can laugh. And when your sorrow is comforted, you will be content that you have known me. You will always be my friend.
And he laughed, and then he quickly became serious. That
Tonight, do not come.
I shall not leave you.
I shall look as if I were dying. It is not worth the trouble. I tell you, it is also because of snake. He must not bite you.
I shall not leave you.
Ah, but it is true that they have no more poison for a second bite.
I saw he was walking along with a quick and resolute step.
You will suffer. I shall look as if I were dead, and that will not be true. You understand? It is too far. I cannot carry my body. It is too heavy. But it will be like an old abandoned shell. There is nothing sad about old shells.
He said to me, but I said nothing. Gradually, he too said nothing more because he was crying. At last, he said again,
You know, my flower, I am responsible for her.
nothing but a flash of yellow close to his ankle. He fell as gently as a tree falls, and there was not even any sound because of sand. Now 6 years have already gone by. Now my sorrow is comforted a little. I know that he did go back to his planet because I did not find his body in the desert. And there was one extraordinary thing. When I drew the muzzle for the little prince, I forgot to add the leather strap to it. So now I keep wondering what is happening on his planet. Perhaps the sheep has eaten the flower, but at one time I say to myself, the little prince shuts his flower under her glass glove every night, so no problem. Here then is a great mystery. Here is that the little prince appeared on earth and disappeared. Look it so that you will be sure to recognize it in case you travel someday to the African desert. Then, if a little man appears who laughs, who has golden hair and refuses to answer questions, know who he is. If this should happen, please comfort me. Send me word that he has come back.